Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept our humble listening.
Hare Krishna, Maji,
Hare
please
Krishna,
accept my humble
Prabhuji.
obeisance. Hare Krishna to all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare
Congrats to Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So, all right. Magyanas Divanandasa Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshan Gaminda Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesh Nivadi Paschati Deshtarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivash Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. आज हमारा this is like third day. No, it's not in curse of day. I was just thinking it's like actually the sixth day. And welcome Hanuman Prabhu. You can see my good old friend Hanuman Prabhu out here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The famed.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma Padam. Very happy to get your darshan. Hare Krishna.
Same here. The fortune is mine Prabhuji. So का स्वागत है और आज जो है हम तीसरा we will be discussing the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita and we will try to summarize with the same pattern as we were following. I'm just following in the wake of Prabhupada Premadaji. I do not intend to rock the boat. So by introducing another method of teaching, but certainly during the Nectar of Devotion, we will have a different approach to that book. Okay, in the meantime, let's go ahead. Let's have a short summary of what Prabhupada has to say, or the BBT, I would say more specifically, what the BBT has to say about the third chapter. Okay. So this is what it has to say. You will find this in the beginning of the book when the contents are being shared. For every content, this is like around 50 words or 100 words, the chapter has been summarized. These are the chapter summaries given in the beginning of the content in Bhagavad Gita. I need a volunteer to read it out for us. Volunteer, please. Go on, Daya Mataji. Wait, Daya Mataji, go on.
Everyone must engage in some sort of activity in this material world, but action can either bind one to this world or liberate one from it. By acting for the pleasure of the Supreme without selfish motives, one can be liberated from the law of karma, action and reaction, and attain the transcendental knowledge of the self and the Supreme.
Yes. So that's the whole idea. The chapter is thoroughly about karma yoga, right? So this is like karma yoga, and there we will be seeing the whole chapter in some sections. Okay, let me take you to those sections and we will read the section wise and try to do justice to the concepts as per the Bhakti Shastri. Okay? Yeah. Do you see this? Wait, Pandit Gadadhar, I'm just coming over to you. What do you have on your screen? The handbook, right? Hopefully the handbook, right? Do you have the handbook on the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, go on. Okay,
Yes, Prabhuji.
So you see over here, first 9 chapters, it is talking about renunciation of work or work in devotion. The basic confusion. Okay, this is the basic confusion people have when they, like this, like it's basically among the neophytes, among the novices. Should one be a philosopher, and he should be indifferent to the material affairs of the world and become indifferent, or should one engage in one's prescribed duties? What should one do? You see, so this is the contradiction or the apparent contradiction that will be resolved here. Then, of course, we are talking about from karma kanda to karma yoga, how you make the transition. Remember yesterday we discussed these different terms. Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, Karma Mishra Bhakti, and Karma Mimamsa. So, yeah. All right. So next, so we will be discussing the difference between Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga. Then Krishna is given Karma Yoga, perform prescribed work in detachment. And it also sets an example. But then Krishna brings his own example. Okay, how even I am doing, what am I supposed to do? Even though I don't have anything to do, but I don't have got anything to do. Okay. And then, of course, again, we're talking about lust and anger. Okay. Those are basically the formidable challenges on the path. And that's it. And that's how we come to the conclusion of the chapter. These are the basic 4 sections we will be delving into. Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu, before I move ahead, please go on.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question from yesterday. May I
Go on.
ask, or probably you can? Okay.
Go on, please,
So
go
Prabhuji,
on.
at the end of the session yesterday, we talked about liberation, right? Jivan Mukti and Videhi Mukti. So in one of the previous sessions, we have heard that liberation is the starting point of the devotional service.
Oh, yeah. Go on. I
And
understand.
even in one of the purports, I have read that Prabhupada has used Swadharma, right? These are of 2
Yes.
types. One is one is not liberated, and one is liberated. Then the Krishna conscious activity starts. So can you please help me how? The liberation is just a starting threshold point for the devotional service, and how everyone can become can encounter in the devotional service and reach the devotional point. And you also stated that in the liberation, only once in a millions can reach at the liberation point, and only then one can achieve Jivan Mukti. So just wanted to have some few points from your side.
Yes. Yeah, let's see the terminologies. So just like in English also, or any language, a single word has got multiple meaning. And the meanings are like in their respective context. So every text has a context. You see, if you detach the text from the context, it becomes meaningless. So the term liberation is always used in the context of either which philosophy you are following. Different philosophical school of thoughts interpret the term liberation differently. Vaishnava school, especially the Gaudiya Vaishnava school of thought, determines liberation to be, as Bhagavatam says, hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. It says that when hitva means it is dead, anyatha rupam, any other rupa. That means any other rupa is based on false ego. Any other rupa, any other form, based on the mind, based on intelligence, based on false ego, hitva, they are all dead. And then swarupena, and you are situated in your swarup, vyavasthiti, you are permanently situated. So that is the concept of liberation, which has been accepted by the Gaudiya school of thought. In this case, to make the matter simple, a person who has reached Krishna Prema is considered liberated according to the Gaudiya school. Now, there are other schools of thoughts where a person who has satisfied Lord Vishnu to the point that he has allowed the devotee to access 4 stages, different stages. The stages are called Sarupya, Samipya, Salukya, and Sarshti. These are the stages, which means like you can stay near to Vishnu. Samipya. Sarupya, you can look like Vishnu, 4 hands, same kind of bodily composition. Sarupya. Sarshti, you can have the same kind of opulence as Vishnu has. You can have that. Salokya, stay in the same place where Vishnu stays. Salokya, Samipya. So these are the conceptions, these are devotional conceptions of liberation. But where where Krishna, the target is not Krishna prem, but Vishnu. The deity is different. Okay. Then there is another concept based on the different school. There's a school of the Jnana Marga. Okay. Either it's the Jnana Marga or it is the Yoga Marga, which is Dhyana. These two schools again have a different, yet another concept of liberation, conception of liberation. That concept of liberation, technically called Sayujya Mukti, it is to get merged into the effulgence of Brahma Jyoti. That is called Nirvishesh Brahmanusandhan. That means you go and that your ultimate target is to become part of that eternal light, becoming one with that eternal light. That is also another concept of liberation. So different schools, different concept of liberations. Okay. Karma Yoga do not have so much of a concept of clear concept of liberation. There is there, you can still be, but then as we know that every school, if they reach its finality, it comes to Bhakti Yoga. So Karma Kanda certainly do not have any concept of liberation. It has only heavenly ascension. Okay, so it's like that. Now these are all Vedic school of thoughts. There are non-Vedic school of thoughts, which is like Buddhism, Jainism, and Charvaka philosophy. Okay, so Charvaka philosophy is hedonism, basically, which does not believe in next birth. Okay? So there is no question of liberation. It's only one life. In the question of Buddhism, the idea is to become Shunya. Why Shunya? Because everything else, what you're seeing around yourself, is a product of Maya. So you start deleting everything. So when you delete everything, nothing remains. And that nothingness is the finality. So their concept of liberation is Brahma Nirvana. They do not say it Mukti, they call it Nirvana. Nirvana means freedom. Okay, freedom means to become, you were nothing, you came from nothing, you are nothing, and you won't be nothing. That's their school of thought. Okay. And there's a Jaina school of thought. Again, it is very similar to that. And they find tapasya or austerity as a way to get there. Okay. So, because their idea of detachment is that if the soul is detached, they don't have any concept of soul either, anyway, because soul has a personality. So there is no personality, it's nothing. So that's why, because you are nothing, so your bodily parts, they are actually nothing. Okay. So that's the idea of the detachment. Okay. So these are the different ideas of liberation. So now coming back to our idea of liberation, our idea of liberation is loving service to Krishna. And since one needs to serve Krishna, he needs to have a position very similar to service, which is suitable for service. Therefore, our understanding of liberation, for that, you need to have love for Krishna. Under analysis of love for Krishna, why would you serve? So that's why you have to come to the stage of prema. When you are in the stage of prema, a particular kind of service requires a particular kind of situation. Say, for example, if I require to guard somebody, then I need weapons. Okay. If I need to cook, I need a kitchen. If I need to dance, I need a pair of ankle belts. Similarly, if I need to serve, if I need to feed Krishna milk, okay, there are two ways. Either I can feed him directly, which in that case, I have to be a senior woman who can give milk. A young girl cannot give milk. She must be married. She must have children, otherwise she cannot give milk. Or I can be a cow. Then also I must have calves. Otherwise I cannot give milk. I cannot be a bull. You see? And then we see Krishna embraces both the mother, Yashoda, and he also embraces the calf and the cow. So it's like that. So the service determines the body. Seva Swarupena. It's like this. So the service will determine the Swarup. That's why in our Tulsi Aarti, we sing Seva Adhikar Diye Karan Nijadasi. And we don't bother our heads by asking Swarup Diye Karo Nijadasi. Seva Adhikar. Then we don't ask Swarup Diye Karo Nijadasi. No, you give me a Sarip, you give me the service, the Swarup is the head of Krishna. So that's how our idea of liberation is. We consider the idea of liberation which is gained in the Gyan Marga, especially, or the Ashtanga, the Yoga, the Gyan Marga, to be incomplete. That's why Bhagavatam says, Aruha Krichena. Kricha means ascending process. Kricha sadhana. Kricha means like austerity, the path of ascending one, which actually doesn't ascend much, actually. You see, the ascending part doesn't ascend much. So it only ascends to the, see, we come from the 0-0 platform, and unless and until there is bhakti, we can at most go back to the 0-0 platform. Getting my point? So wherever I was, without bhakti, I came to the material world because of lack of bhakti, right? I didn't have service. So at max, where can I go? To the same place. If I want to go any further, I need bhakti. So the Gyan Marga liberation or the Dhyan Marga liberation gets back me to the same position where I was before I came to the material world. That's why the persons who are on the devotional path do not consider that the final liberation. Right? Clear?
Yes,
Shall we
Prabhuji.
move ahead?
Yes,
Shall we move
Prabhuji.
ahead? Okay. Dayamaji, I am afraid I can only allow you to read. We have got a course to cover. Read for us the first 9 verses. And then we may change the volunteer. Go on, you see.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in the ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work?
You see? Didn't he say that in the last? See, Arjuna is like very sharp listener. Didn't he say that? That, okay, intelligence is better than fruitive work. Then why do you want me to engage in this battlefield? That's exactly what I'm saying. Don't engage me. Now you're also saying the same thing. So why are you engaging me? Question is continuing. Go on.
My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me.
Yes. Yes. You are speaking equivocally. Equivocal means you're saying both things are good, as if both things are good. Therefore, please tell me decisively. Ekam vada nishchitya. See? We were discussing that yesterday. Ekam vada nishchitya. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. You see? 3rd chapter, he's telling, tell me one thing. You won't tell him one thing. You tell him 15 chapters now. Okay, you'll see. Yes, Vishaka Maji. Go on. Before Bhagwan Vacha, Vishaka Vacha.
I have a question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have a question that Arjuna, Krishna Krishna was answering Arjuna to his arguments, sinful reactions, and everything Arjuna said in the first chapter. Krishna was answering the arguments. Then, how did the topic of Sthita Pragya came in suddenly?
Yeah, very good question. No, it was part of that. He asked that question. Arjuna asked that question. Sthita pragasya ka bhasha samadhistata kya? He asked that question. Krishna didn't bring that question. Arjuna bring that question.
Krishna, yes, then I am asking that how did the Arjuna link that question in that scenario?
Yes, because when he saw that, then he was talking about liberation. The very question which Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu asked. Then he came with the idea of liberation. Arjuna knew the word of liberation, that if I want to get free from the fruitive work, tell me what is the position of a liberated person. Sthita Pragya. Tell me the person who is a Sthita Pragya. And that's why Krishna started elaborating, like 15 verses he elaborated. You see? And you see, Pragya Prashistam. How Pragya Pratishtita. Pragya Pratishtita. This is how the Sthita Pragya, how he is situated. And he's talking about a Prema Bhakta devotee. That's what he's going on. Fair enough? Vishaka Maji?
Yes,
Microphone is
Prabhuji.
on. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So then now because now Arjuna is confused. Certainly is confused because he is thinking that he's misconceived basically, that Krishna is telling him to control his six senses, fix his mind, Sthita Pragya, on the Supreme. That is one thing, as Vishaka Maji is asking. But he's also saying, perform your action. Why are you asking me to engage in warfare? First question, if you want me to fix my mind on Krishna. Okay. So now Krishna will explain Karma Yoga. You see, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Go on.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinful Arjuna, I have already
Sinless.
explained.
Not sinful Arjuna, sinless Arjuna.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go on.
I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service.
Yes. So he is giving so many classes, two basic classes. First is by empirical philosophy. What is that? Gyan Marg. This is the Gyan Marg. Okay. Gyan Marg. The target of Gyan Marg is Nirvishesh Brahma. So they are also transcendentalist. You see? One is Gyan Marg and one is Bhakti Marg. Okay? So you can write it down just in case if you have that kind of trouble. So empirical philosophical speculation means Gyan Marg. And by the way, Gyan Marg doesn't mean reading books. Okay? I'm repeatedly stressing on the term Gyan because this is very much misconstrued. The Sanskrit understanding of Gyan and the Hindi understanding of Gyan are absolutely different. There is nothing in common between the Sanskrit understanding of Gyan and Hindi understanding of Gyan. Okay? Just like the same words on different languages means absolutely different things.
Prabhuji?
Go on.
Then what you said Gyan means not reading book. Then
No.
how
Gyan means that whose target is to reach impersonal Brahman.
What is the way for that?
That path which leads us to the impersonal Brahman. How do we do that? By empirical philosophical speculation that do not require books.
What is the meaning of it?
Major philosophers of the world, including Plato, I can say for sure, Plato and
Aristotle.
no, let me think. Was before Plato. That's Plato, there was Aristotle, and then there was
Galileo.
no, not Galileo. There are three Greek philosophers. Aristotle was
Socrates.
the Socrates. Yes, not Aristotle. Plato and Socrates. Both were Gyan Margis. You see?
How
These
did
are
they get Gyan?
philosophical. You read Plato, you read Socrates, you will understand like what is the idea of speculation. For that, one of the nicest books you can refer to find out these things is Beyond Illusion and Doubt. It's a BBT publication, Beyond Illusion and Doubt, and you can find so many Gyan Margis out there. There are like not just Gyan Margis, some of them are like Sigmund Freud. Is Freudian philosophy is an atheistic philosophy. Okay, but this is Oregon, is again quasi-devotional philosophy. So you will find different Greek philosophers, Roman philosophers, and the German philosophers like Hegel, again, Jan Mark. Okay, so you will find different philosophers in different times. Jan Mark is an ascending process. That means just like the idea is you theorize, okay, you observe, you experiment, you come up with a principle. Then you move on to the next stage. That is Jan Mark. Scientific discoveries are typically Gyan mark. This is Gyan mark. Okay. Because the knowledge is ascending, it's not descending. So how much can you ascend? You can only ascend up to the point from where you descended. And that is the impersonal part. So that's why Gyan mark has got nothing to do with books. Gyan mark is write their books. And we common people read those books. Okay. That's Gyan mark. Okay. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, just like we are reading Bhagavad Gita, see, that's another thing. Thank you for bringing this up. And I am using this platform to also clarify this another misconception. When we are reading Bhagavad Gita, at least those who are practicing Krishna consciousness as part of that practice, those who are reading Bhagavad Gita, this had got nothing to do with Gyan. It is one of the limb of bhakti. As strong or as weak as chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Reading Bhagavad Gita does not give us any Gyan. Prabhupada didn't labor so hard to give us Gyan. Reading Bhagavad Gita is 100% bhakti if you read it with that idea. But if you are reading Bhagavad Gita with a view to get an impersonal Gyan mark liberation, that's a different thing. I mean, somebody can read Bhagavad Gita to take out management principles to fill his belly also. That's a different thing. But Bhagavad Gita is basically meant for direct bhakti, and only bhakti can give bhakti. Nothing else can give bhakti. Okay. As much as we haven't have any evidence of like a lady, a woman, human, Homo sapiens, okay, producing a monkey. Okay. We may say that sher ka bachcha hai, but actually he is insan ka bachcha. He's not an animal. Okay. So similarly, only bhakti can produce bhakti. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is a 100% book on bhakti and it produces bhakti. But if somebody wants to shortchange it for something else, you can do that. Say, for example, somebody might use Bhagavad Gita to read English, right? Like you guys have got the Bhagavad Gita is written in English, right? Okay. So it's an English book. Is it an English book? No. It is written in English, but it's not English. Okay. Just like a book on physics. It's written in English. Okay. Is it an English book? No, it's a book of physics. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita, it is written in Sanskrit, but it's not a book on Sanskrit. It is not a book on Bhakti. The book is now written in English. It's not a book on English. It's a book on Bhakti. Okay. Thank you for allowing me this excuse to explain that Bhagavad Gita is only meant for Bhakti. It is not for Gyan. That is for common people. They may say, oh, Bhagavad Gita, I'll read Bhagavad Gita, I'll get knowledge. That's okay. That's for common people. But for sadhakas, they read Bhagavad Gita just to get Bhakti. Because that's what it's meant for.
Prabhuji, then all the Prabhupada's book we read for bhakti, can say.
Yeah, yeah. Why would he waste his time when he was writing books at the dead of the night?
Okay.
It's only for bhakti, nothing more. I mean, you want to teach English by teaching Krishna book, that's a different thing. But actually, the book was written for bhakti. And just like this mobile phone, see what it is meant for.
For many uses.
Such as?
Calling.
Be in contact.
How about hitting this mobile, like hiding your nose with this mobile?
Not proper use of it.
No, but it can be used like that, right?
Yes, can be used.
Yeah, but it is not designed for that. So Bhagavad Gita has a designated use. That use is bhakti. Now you can use it for so many other things. Okay. So similarly, so Bhagavad Gita has got nothing to do with Gyan. It's only bhakti. Gyan Marga means that which is going for impersonalism. And which one can take out that meaning also from Bhagavad Gita and be satisfied. Okay. All right, let's move ahead. We must move. So this was the Gyan Marg, as we saw. Empirical philosophical speculation is Gyan Marg, and the second is devotion. Jyotima, you have got your hand up. I'm sorry, I just saw you.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I wanted to ask, like, this is the Hindi definition of Gyan Marg. As you told that there are different definitions of Gyan in Hindi and Sanskrit. So
In
this
Hindi,
is the...
yeah, in Hindi, no. That's the Sanskrit definition of Gyan Marg.
Okay,
In
this
Hindi,
is the
Gyan means knowledge.
Okay.
In Hindi, Gyan means knowledge.
Yeah.
But here, the Gyan means that which leads to impersonal Brahma liberation.
Okay.
Whenever you read the word Jnana as part of Sanskrit, especially scriptures, not literature. If you're reading Sanskrit literature, say for example, you are reading Meghadoot of Kalidas, that may be literal. That may be different. Or you're reading Alankar Shastra, that is different. But if you're reading Bhagavad Gita, if you're reading Upanishads, so Jnana means that which takes you to liberation. Because the opposite of that is going to be Ajnana. Which is going to keep you in the material world. You see?
Okay.
Ajnana does not mean ignorance. Ajnana means that which keep you in the material world.
Yes.
Whereas in Hindi, Ajnana means, oh, Ajnani. Oh, he's an idiot. But,
Yes.
but for that, Sanskrit do not use the word Ajnana.
Okay.
Hindi use the word Ajnana. Sanskrit use the term Mudha. Or Murkha.
Yes.
Hindi doesn't use the term Mudha.
Yes, yes.
That's how it is. There are designated words for worldly use and designated words for transcendental use.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now let's move ahead. Verse number 4. Now we will what we are going to see here. I'm just mentioning that what you should be careful about. What you should be looking into this. Whatever we are now looking into this, we are looking performance of action that free from desire, okay, and fruitive grain and dedicated to the Supreme Lord. This is what we are looking. So whatever we are looking, it will be somewhere around that thing, okay. Art of work, karma, and all that. Okay, go ahead, Maji. Please continue. Maji.
Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
You see, now he is immediately demolishing that idea of Arjuna. That's it. What is it? You are telling me to do renunciation, then why are you asking me to fight? He said, neither by this nor by that, alone. Alone. See, here it is saying merely, and here it is saying alone again. So there has to be a combination. The work has to be combined with renunciation. You cannot renounce working, and you cannot simply renounce, or you cannot keep working without renunciation. You must combine these two. So that's what he's saying. Go on.
Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
Yes. So that is the thumb rule. This is one of those verses you should memorize, even if it is not part of your Bhakti Shastri memorization verses. Because these are like, these are those tools by which one can relieve oneself from ignorance. These are those tools. Otherwise, it's very difficult. You see? Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati karmakrit. Karyate, the first line I remember, the second line I forgot. Karyate hi avasha karma sarva prakriti jairguna. So you cannot, there is nothing called, there's no, I mean, as long as a living entity is in the body, is acting. There's nothing called inaction. He's breathing, he's thinking, he's willing, he's feeling. It was a very nice movie I am reminded of. What's that movie? The Equilibrium. The name of the movie was The Equilibrium. It's like by Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves generally acts in those kind of movies like Buddhist philosophy, something, like something spiritual, quasi-spiritual he will have, just like the Matrix series. So in Equilibrium, that the concept was this: no feeling. Because if you can stop feeling, then you are really basic. That is the idea, the Buddhist idea. The Buddhist idea. You can stop feeling, no feeling, because feeling comes from mind, no mind. You see? So that's the idea. So if you can do that, so then like you are getting into nirvana state. That is called trying for the impossible. Because here Krishna says it is not. You are acting helplessly according to the qualities. It is not the soul, but it is the modes of material nature which makes you helpless and forces you. Therefore, you cannot refrain from doing something, even for a moment. And even after the gross body dies, the soul must travel because it is under the modes of seawater material nature. So that very idea to stop everything doesn't work. It is like, it's like what you call theory. Theoretically, it's there, but we haven't seen any practical examples. Read verse number 6.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwell on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Yes. Who is a pretender? Okay. Mithyachara sauchyate. Sorry, wait. Mithyachara sauchyate. Where is that verse? Yeah, here. You see? Indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyachara sauchyate. So this is who is a mithyachari? Pretender. Okay. Anybody who thinks, whose mind is dwelling, action with senses he has restrained, is called pretender. You might control your senses, but you cannot control your mind, and therefore you are pretender. Again, why? Because that means you do not know that I am not the body means,
I'm sorry.
but then what is the body? Yes. So Shubham Prabhu, go on.
5 elements plus mind, intelligence, and
Yes. Gross plus
Subtle body.
subtle body. Basically, it is talking about the subtle body. Remember, spiritual life or spiritual knowledge is all about subtle body, not so much the gross body. The gross body is just a tool, just an element. It's not very difficult. It's not very difficult to get rid of the gross body, because you will get rid of the gross body after a stipulated point of time anyways. You see, as we say, as sure as death. You'll be getting rid of the gross body. That's not the big problem. Big problem is the subtle body. So whenever we are reading transcendental literature, always look for the link when we was talking about the body to the subtle body. That's what, and that's why he's saying he's a pretender. Go on, verse number 7. 2 more verses to go. On.
On the other hand, if a sincere person try to control and the active sense by mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior.
Yes. So now what he's saying, that you work, but you work without attachment. And that is also not possible unless there is some sort of Krishna consciousness. Some sort of. Because if you are not attached, then you won't work. What is Marshall Adams' theory? Basic economics. What is the book? Famous book of Marshall Adams, great economist. I'm forgetting the name of the book. So there he says basically that without economic impetus, without a family, actually, he says, without a family, nobody would work. That's why the basic unit of capitalism is family, not the person. Basic unit of socialism is the person. And basic unit of capitalism is the family. Because without family, there won't be any economic activity. All right. So unless and you do have an attachment for the family, you won't work. So if you learn to work without attachment, you won't work. And that's exactly what Arjuna is asking. Why are you asking me to work if you are asking me to renounce? That's why the karma yoga means in Krishna consciousness. There is an attachment, but that attachment is for Krishna. If you have absolutely no attachment, you won't work. And if you don't work, you are in a delusion that you are not working, because you are working. That's what he said. Because nobody can remain without work, because he's under the 3 modes of material nature. 8. Go on. Nitya Kuru Karmana. Yeah, please go on.
Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
You see, now he is saying physical body. You see? Sometimes like you are very specific, then it's like physical body. He's not talking about now the subtle body. Otherwise, whenever you read the term body, you understand that it is talking about both bodies, and especially the subtle body. Okay. So that's the basic idea. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now the last verse for this section before we summarize this, and then we'll move ahead. Go on.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage.
So this is one of those very important verses. Okay? Yagyarthat karmana anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Mukta sangha. Mukta sangha samachara. Mukta sangha actually means many things actually. It actually liberated from association, you see. Liberated from bad association. Bad association. What is that bad association? My neighbors? Maybe, but certainly my mind. Here, Mukta Sangha means liberated from the association of mind, not liberated from mind, liberated from the association of mind. To read the finer line, the finer print. Finer print. Okay? If you don't do that, work as for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise it's called bondage in this material world. Therefore, you must perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction. Yagya Vai Vishnu, it says in the Shastra. Yagya Vai Vishnu. That means the work should be done for Vishnu. Yagya Vai Vishnu. I think Prabhupada will use it also somewhere. Oh, yeah, you see? You see? Yagya Vai Vishnu. So that's the word. That's what it is. Okay. So, yeah, prescribed duties. All right. So now let's summarize the whole thing. Basically, what Krishna is saying, and Krishna, when Arjuna asked him that why you are asking me, giving me incompatible instructions. It's incompatible. If you are asking me to fight or work, it's incompatible the idea of renunciation. And then Krishna is now explaining what karma yoga means. It means working with renunciation. Okay. So then he is saying, so then by nature, everybody is forced to act. We understand that's the law of nature. But one should work in a way, that means work by offering it for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So then one won't be attached with the results and he won't pay for the results. He won't pay for the results. That is the art of work. Okay. Karma yoga. That means working and acting under the direction of the Supreme. Okay. Remember, now if we go into the intricacies of Karma Yoga, this is a very important detail you must know. Otherwise, you will again get confused. The Karma Yogi do not know who is the Supreme. He knows there is a Supreme. Okay. That's why the Karma Yogi, he generally uses phrases like Upar wala, Dene wala, okay, Parameshwar, Paramatma, Bhagwan, something. He's not exactly clear. He doesn't, when he says the word Bhagwan, he doesn't know what Bhagwan means actually. He doesn't really know. This just as a commonplace usage. Okay. So it's like that. He knows there is a Supreme, and mostly he has a vague idea. He is not very clear also whether it's personal or impersonal. But he knows there is a Supreme. Whereas the Karma Kanda, he might not even know that there is a Supreme. He knows demigods and that's what he cares. And he also considers Vishnu to be among one of the demigods. He do not know. For him, everybody is one. Karma Kanda is everybody is one. Okay. Impersonalist, everything is one. For the karma kandis, everybody is the same, not one. Everybody is the same. But for the impersonalist, everybody is one. The final difference between the karma yogi, the karma kandi and the impersonalist. Now the karma yogi, he knows that there is everybody and there is a supreme. It's not very clear what it is. He will say supreme force, supreme power, supreme light, something supreme. That is a karma yogi. Because if the karma yogi knows that Krishna is the supreme or Vishnu is the supreme, it does not remain a karma yogi anymore. Okay, that's the conception. Yeah, Dayamaji, go on. You're not reading, you have a question, right?
Yes, have
One,
question.
two, three questions. Go on. One, yeah, Dayamaji, go on.
Vishnu, Krishna. So this both is Krishna is not different from Vishnu, or Vishnu is not different from Krishna.
Okay, wait and gradually we will proceed to the concept of Krishna conception, which includes the conception of Vishnu, which includes the Vishnu Tattva. Gradually we will move ahead. Okay. Okay. So, because if I say like to you what is what, it will be too much for you to handle now. Okay? But just stay on, hang on. All right. Tulsi Mataji, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there is a little bit confusion in my mind that Karma Yogi does not know who is the Supreme God. But Karma Yogi does not know who is the Supreme God. But Karam Kandi knows that all are the Supreme, all are the demigods, but he considers Vishnu as a demigod.
Yeah. Yes. Everyone, including Vishnu, to be the same.
Means Karam Kandi doesn't know the Supreme God because he is considering Vishnu on
doesn't even
as a
recognize
demigod.
that there is no, he doesn't even recognize that there is a Supreme God. Because he doesn't need a Supreme God now. The Karma Kandi does not need a Supreme God. He needs a God, that's all. So there he has got so many gods and he's very happy with that. Okay. When he's looking for a good wife, he will go to Parvati. She is looking for a good husband, he go for Shiva. He is looking for strength and energy, he will go to Sun God. He is looking for opulence, he will go to Indra. So what does he care? It's a departmental store. So
but Prabhuji, like you said about Karam Yogi, so he doesn't know Supreme God. Okay?
But he knows the idea of Supreme.
Karam Kandi doesn't know the idea of Supreme.
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
That's
okay.
why they will be very, very offended. You will see the Karma Kandis, if you tell them that Vishnu is the Supreme, everybody else is a demigod, they will fight with you. They'll start fighting. You guys are always this ISKCON people, you are all fanatics. You see, now we are fanatics. Okay. So you are all fanatics. Okay. So you must tell them like you must go and see what is a fanatic looks like. I mean, especially devotees like Tulsi much like yourself being in Pakistan. It's not very difficult to show them a fanatic. So, but here, even in the Hindu community, when ISKCON starts preaching, all these are all fanatics. All sub Krishna Krishna karte rahe. I didn't elect it, Baba. I didn't voted Krishna to be the Supreme Lord. He's just the Supreme Lord. What can I do? It's just, that's how it is. Okay, Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu.
Probably I have a question. Here in the translation, it's been mentioned that work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. So why not it is work done as a sacrifice for Krishna has to be performed? Because in later of the shlokas, it's been mentioned that in shlok number 30 that, oh Arjuna, surrendering all your work unto me. So in the starting of the verses, Krishna is saying that we need to surrender our work, or we need to work as per the instruction of Vishnu, and later in work according to me. So why such differences too?
It's because work is part of Varnashram, right? It is by your work you are recognized what varna you are. Right? So the varnash, the end, the ultimate beneficiary of the varnashram is Vishnu. That's why. Simple. Krishna doesn't work. He doesn't have any work to do. And Krishna's devotees also do not have any work. Devotion has got nothing to do with work. So when you are in this material world and you want to dedicate your work, that's Vishnu. You see? Even the devotees who work and dedicate the work to Krishna, the work is actually dedicated to the Vishnu portion of Krishna. So Krishna has got, what will you do with his work? What is he going to do with your work? He is saying just bhakti mama vijanati yavan, just by I only need your bhakti. What do you have got to do with your work? So that's why it's like that. Okay. All right. Vaibhavi Mataji. Go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Yes, Maji.
Can we understand karma kandis as aham brahmasmi people who follow this philosophy?
No. They are the Gyan Margis.
They're the
Brahmasmi
Gyan
people are the
Margis.
Gyan Margis. Yeah. The impersonalist Gyan Margis. Now Karma Kandis have got no Brahmasmi. Karma Kandi.
Impersonalists
Karma
are
Kandis.
the aham brahmasmi.
Yes. Karma Kandis are like they're just looking for elevation. Why Brahmasmi? You make me Brahmasmi, then where? Who will go to the Swarga?
So they approach any demigod and for
Yes.
their satisfaction.
Yes. Karma
They
Kanda.
just
That's
want their
exactly Karma Kanda.
satisfaction.
You want to know Karma Kandis? You want to look daily Karma Kandis? Like every week they will visit the astrologer. And
The
after they get
Navagraha
the
Puja type.
selection, Navagraha Pujas, Lal Kitab,
Oh, okay, got it.
telltale sign of the Karma Kandis. Yes, Karma Kandis.
Thank you,
All
Prabhuji.
right. Thank you. Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here how it comes, the word detachment comes here oftenly. So is there any set of questions or any parameter for us to self-assess whether we are attached, whether we are doing work in detachment or whether we are getting attached to it?
Yeah, very simple. How much can you remember Krishna? That's the litmus test. It's the litmus test. Like you give the exam, and after like after coming back home, you didn't had a good exam. Bhagwan bacha lena.
Yes.
So the point is the person who is remembering Krishna while giving the exam.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you are remembering Krishna and then you forgot the question answers. That's at the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Just like when you're driving. So your eyes are on the road, but you can also listen to the music.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Wait, Dayamaji. I think I saw Hashika Maji had her hand up. Is your question satisfied, Hashika Maji? Are you done?
Hare Krishna, I raised the hand for reading the next section. Next section.
Oh, why not?
I don't have any
Yes,
question.
you are the one. You are the one, the chosen one. Okay. So the next section, but the next section would be another 7 verses. Okay. From 10 to 16. Okay. Let's
Can I
go
read?
on.
Okay. In the
Please.
beginning of the
I have
creation,
question.
You have a question. Okay, let's satisfy that. Try to satisfy the question. Harshika Mataji, would you excuse me? Yes, go on. Harshika Dayamaji.
Prabhuji, you said that our service is for Vishnu, not for Krishna. Krishna doesn't need our service.
Work.
Then
Work. I didn't say that. I'm cutting you short. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you short. I didn't say service. I said work.
So, like, what's the
Work.
Krishna need our service? We are doing service for
Yeah,
Krishna.
Krishna needs our service.
And
Vishnu means
right, we are doing things in Krishna consciousness, that is service.
work. No, Krishna's service. When you're chanting, that is service to Krishna. When you're reading this Bhagavad, this Bhakti Shastra, is service to Krishna. Direct
Krishna
service,
needs
not even
service.
indirect.
Krishna needs
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, he needs service. He doesn't need work. He doesn't work, he doesn't need work. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Harshika Maji, go on. Harshika Maji, go on. Vishaka Maji, you'll have to wait. Harshika Maji, go on.
Okay. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation."
Continue. Continue, because it will be one full thing. It's like a story. Go on.
Okay.
Krishna
The
is telling a
demigods,
story.
the demigods, being pleased by the sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
You see? That's why I said it's a story.
Okay. Do I have to
Now,
read the next one?
yes.
In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief.
Stena evasa. This is also part of your CBA questions, you see? Stena evasa. So he is a thief. Who is a thief? Who enjoys this gift without offering them to the demigods in return. Because what was the arrangement? In 3 verses, we see how it started. Let's go back and see. That's why I said it's a story going on. Krishna started telling a story. What is the story? In the beginning of creation, he created gods and men, both of them. Okay? And then say, be thou happy by this yajna for Vishnu. If you do that, everything desirable will be bestowed upon you. And live happily. Both men and the demigods. Okay? At the start of creation, when Krishna created the men, the demigods, and the yajna. And he said that you do these yajnas both to the men and to the demigods, and you will be happy. All your necessities will be provided by this yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Okay. Yajna also means worship. So now what happened? The demigods being pleased by sacrifices is also please you. They will also please you. Okay. Now that means you're talking about human beings. The demigods will please the human beings. And cooperation between the men and the demigods. Prosperity will reign. So for prosperity, both men and demigods have to cooperate. Okay? But then, if you don't do like that, because the demigods are in charge of, who are the demigods? They're in charge of the necessities of life. Similar. Simple. Who are the demigods? Those who are in charge of various necessities of life. Simple definition of demigod. Okay. And they will be satisfied by the sacrifice and they will supply you the necessities. But if you start to enjoy such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return, then you are a thief. That means a person who is enjoying without karma kanda is a thief. So that sets karma kanda as the minimum bar. Therefore, karma kanda is the minimum bar, not karma yoga. Karma kanda is the minimum bar, as stated by Lord Vishnu himself. Either you do to me, or at least you do to the demigods. If you're at least doing to the demigods, you'll still get your supplies. You see? You'll still get your supplies. But even if you don't even to the demigods, then you are a thief. Okay. Fair enough? Move on. Let's hold your questions for a couple of minutes. Let's have these 3 more verses to go, and then we'll take the questions. Don't forget your questions. Go on, verse number 13.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
So now again it is coming. You see? He like that, the same verse he said earlier also, and it's coming again. It's gonna come back again and again and again till you kind of get the hang of the thing. So wait, I'm just looking for something. There's a specific part of the purport I want to. No, not this one. There'll be another verse. It's there, but it's there in another verse. Okay, fine. So the same thing. Yajna Shishtan, I think this one is there as part of your. No, it's not there. This 27 is there, not 313. Yajna Shishtan, Shishtan, Sheena Santo, Munchate Sarva Kilbishay. Sarva Kilbishay. Kilbishay means all avarices, all sinful activities. Bhungjate tu agam papam. Agam means sin. Agam means Aghasur. Remember Aghasur, one of the demons, the demon of sin. Aghasur, agam pap. Okay. Pachanti atmakaranat. If you only eat for yourself, then that is sinful. All right. Now this is one of those verses. I think one of the verses which Prabhupada quoted maximum in his entire 2000 lectures. This verse, my God, Prabhupada had kind of, Prabhupada was kind of hooked onto this verse. Annat bhavanti bhutani parinjat anna sambhava yagyat bhavati parijanyao yagya karma samudbhava. Was practically hooked onto this verse. Go on.
All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties.
Yes. You see, this Prabhupada is given a nice, wait, there was this. It's big, you see, there's a big purport. Yeah, here, you see, it's there. Offering food to Krishna, and how it is a process which nourishes the body spiritually. Nourishes the body spiritually. Okay. So, body becomes immunized to all kind of material nature. What does prasadam does? All contamination of material nature. Which means what? Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. And then Prabhupada is giving an analogy. Okay. Understand, it's a very, very subtle point. Can you read this, Harshika? What is there highlighted here?
Yes. When there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from the attack of such an epidemic. Similarly, food offered to Lord Vishnu and then taken by us makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection. And one who is accustomed to this practice is called a devotee of the Lord.
How do you want to become detached? Here it is. Sufficiently resistant to material affection. You want to practice detachment? Take prasadam. Prasadam makes us materially detached. Nobody will have any clue even. What is it going on? How am I becoming detached? Eating prasadam every day. So that's a very important point. Okay. Let's have 2 more verses and then let's open the forum for question and answers. Go on, Hashika Maji, verse number 15.
Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice.
Because these regulative activities are prescribed in the Vedas. Consequently, the transcendence is necessarily situated. So if somebody is following the Vedas, gradually he will transcend. Although in the 2nd chapter, Krishna vehemently protested, do not be attracted by the flowery words of the Vedas. What's this going on? Now he's going back and now taking it more slowly. Taking it more slowly. He's talking about the karma kanda thing, how karma kanda works. This is exactly how karma kanda works. Okay. And gradually when he understands, then he can transcend. Okay. Last one. Go on.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
So, Yajivati Sajivati, I think. Kamogam, sorry, yeah. Evam pravartitam chakram, nanuvartita ya, aghayur indriyaramo, mogam partha sajivati. Mogam partha sajivati. So he's like, useless. Useless. So that's what. Because after this life, he will descend to a lower species. That's the idea. So that's encompasses the whole idea of karma kanda. How you can elevate the performer to some spiritual activities maybe is gradually purified. Okay? If he is performing the sacrifices regularly. All right, now I see many hands up. Okay, let's start with Vishaka. She was the first one to go. Go on, Vishaka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said that when we chant and read Bhagavatam, that is, we are doing the service to Krishna. But what if we but if we take Krishna in the center of every activity, then that's not the service to Krishna. That's the work to Vishnu.
That is secondary. That is secondary. See, 2 things. One is, what is bhakti? Okay. And second is, what can be engaged in bhakti? Some activities have been designated by Krishna directly as bhakti. Whereas everything else, which has not been designated as bhakti, can be engaged in bhakti. Just like you can say, what is fire? Okay, we know what is fire. And we can put something into the fire to make it fiery, so that it acts like fire. You put an iron rod in that fire and then it becomes red hot fire. It can act like fire, but essentially it is not fire. It needs a fire to become like fire. Similarly, every work requires bhakti to become like bhakti. Unless and until you have bhakti, what will you add it to? See? Never mind whatever sweet you want to create. The sugar is, is a prerequisite. No sugar, no sweet. You see? So bhakti is the prerequisite. And then you can throw in more things into it and then it can handle. So if you do not have bhakti or you have got lesser bhakti and you throw in more things, what will happen? If you have got more things and you have got a little fire, what will happen? Fire will extinguish. Similarly, so whatever you can engage in bhakti must be in proportion to how much bhakti you have. This bhakti. Okay. Good question. It's a really very good question. Thank you. Very intelligent question, Vishakha Maji. Okay. Keshavi Jayada Mataji, go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, as you told that people who go to astrologers for getting solutions for their doshas, they come under karma kanda. So devotees should go to astrologers. That will also come under karma kanda, because many devotees go to
It's the same thing. Now you said how the devotees go to karma. That's the point. It's a good question actually. It's a very good question. Very what do you call practical question. Now, when you say the word, the devotee goes to the karma, to the astrologer. You must be very careful with that word, devotee. For past 2 days, I'm handling that word very carefully. I'm not throwing around that word very easily. The word devotee applies to a person who is on the stage of bhava. Anything less than that is a sadhaka. Sadhaka bhakta is a green mango. It's not a yellow mango. So green mangoes, sadhaka bhaktas can do anything. That's why it's a sadhaka. Okay, just don't put your put your money on the sadhaka bhaktas. Okay, don't put your dog in that race. Put your money in the bhava bhakta. You see how many times the bhava bhakta goes to for the astrologer, and what does he do when he go to the astrologer? Okay. Otherwise, the sadhaka bhaktas, if you think them to be bhaktas and miss the sadhaka part, you are doomed. Okay. Never blindly follow a sadhaka bhakta. Follow the book. And follow the examples of the great devotees. Mahajana. See, it has been said, Mahajana yena gata sabanta. Following the footsteps of Mahajanas, great devotees. Not sadhakas. Okay. Sadhakas are free to do whatever they do, and they suffer for that, and that's what it is. See? For sadhaka bhaktas, I can tell you a Bengali verb. I don't know what is the English equivalent. It says, Pagole ki na bole, chagole ki na khaye. It means, what won't a madman do, and what won't a goat eat? A goat can eat anything, and a madman can do anything. That is the case of a sadhak bhakta. Don't follow them. Okay. All right. Shubham Prabhu, go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we have read the word sacrifice in the translations. In our mundane understanding, sacrifice means like leaving something like sweet, and sometimes maybe sacrificing animals. So there must be something a transcendental meaning for sacrifice, I'm sure. So what is that?
Yes. Sacrifice. The word sacrifice actually means yagya, and yagya, the word yagya actually, it actually comes from the root yaja. That means to worship. So actually the yagya means to worship. So God can be worshipped in various forms. He can be worshipped in the water. That's why you see, like many devotees, many people go and they offer water to sun. But they also go to the rivers and offer the river water back to the river. The Ganga water is offered back to the river, Ganga. So God is worshipped in water by Tarpan. That's the process. Okay. God is worshipped in the fire by Agnihotra Yagyas. Light a fire, and the fire is the representative of God at that point of time. God can be worshipped on earth with earthly material, and that's called a deity. Okay, or God can be worshipped within the mind. That's called mental worship. Okay, meditation, mental worship. It's called Manas Puja. So these are the different ways what God is worshipped. So the worship being the same, but because the elements are changing, there are changes in some details. That's all. That's all. If you know how to worship the deity, with a little change, you can worship the deity in fire. So you can do the yagya. You will know what it is. The basic principle is the same. That's how it works. So generally, because born with Hindu background, we generally understand that fire sacrifice, the yagya is different, and worshipping the deity in the temple is different, chanting his name is different. These are different ways of addressing the same thing. So it's just a different way. It's just like how you deal with it.
All right. So we can interchange the word sacrifice with worship.
Yeah, we do. We do, actually. But the word yagya is also replaced by the word yajya, which means worship. It is done. It's done. Bhavika Mataji, go on. And then Vaibhavi Mataji. There's so many questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, there are two questions that I have some confusion in. In this word 3.14, all living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from the rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is one of prescribed duties. So my question is that this Karam Kanda path is fine to perform yajna, everything?
Yeah.
Or is it just the minimum bar? Like
Minimum
you
bar.
mentioned.
Minimum
It
bar.
is the minimum bar.
Minimum bar. It's a minimum bar. And minimum bar is fine, but not fine enough.
But it's fine.
It's fine. Of course, it's fine.
Okay, Prabhuji, my second question is the difference between work and devotional service, which I could not understand. Work is like you mentioned that for Lord Vishnu, and you mentioned devotional service for Lord Krishna. I could not understand the difference.
Yeah, because I didn't elaborate it actually. So I didn't elaborate it. At that point, I felt that there doesn't require much elaboration. But since you're asking a specific question, so just like the work, which we understand to be part of the Varnashram, you can dedicate the work to Lord Vishnu. That's what has been given. The work is designed in a way that you can dedicate the work to Lord Vishnu. Just like you are working in the office. Okay. And you can work and you can mentally offer that work. Oh, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, this is the work is dedicated to you. This is dedicated to you. Of course, you cannot dedicate sinful work. That won't, you can dedicate, but it won't be accepted. Okay. Say, for example, like you basically duped somebody, you cheated somebody, and then say, oh, Krishna, please accept it. Oh, Lord Vishnu, accept it. You won't accept it. You can do that, but it won't be accepted. It's like that. So those prescribed duties, they are work, these are they should be offered. It's very simple thing that this work is offered is generally not known. Such a simple thing. How the work is offered. Not that every time you give the money. The offering of the work means that you work and you offer. So Krishna, I work today. My work is offered to you. That's all. That's offering. Well, like you worked all day long and you don't even remember what you worked for and whom do you work for. and then you came home, ate your dinner, and then out in some dreamland. You dedicate your work. It's just like Thanksgiving prayers. You see, when we come and like you see in different traditions, like in Christian tradition, even in Islam, you can find that there are, before they eat, they thank God for the food. That is dedicating the work to Vishnu. That is different from offering the food to Vishnu. They are eating, before eating, they're thanking for the food. They're not offering the food to Vishnu, God. They're two different things. Thanking for what you are eating is different from what you're offering to God. When you're offering it to God, it's part of bhakti. But when you're offering the food, you're thanking for the food you are eating is part of your dharma or this prescribed duty. You do that, you satisfy Vishnu. So by your work, you're satisfying Vishnu. Now, when you are executing devotional service, one of the limbs, say for example, offering the food to Vishnu or offering the food to Krishna, it is not work, it is a service. And service pleases Krishna, not satisfies Krishna. Work is for the satisfaction of Vishnu and service is for the pleasure of Krishna. Therefore, service is part of bhakti. Whereas this work is what is called nishkam karma. Fair enough?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Digested?
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Vaibhavi Mataji, go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In 12th,
Why am I getting so many questions? It's like so confusing. Anyway, go on.
In 12th verse, Prabhuji, it is mentioned in the purport that the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. Okay, so Krishna is emphasizing here that his worship is recommended. Then why is he also emphasizing more on the sacrifices to the demigods?
Yeah, because those who are worshiping, sacrificing to the demigods, he's addressing them also, no? They are also his children. It's not like they are like written off.
Okay.
So
Also,
how
I
do you
didn't.
do that? How do you do that? Unless and until God shows us our way, how to worship the demigod, we cannot worship demigods. For that also God has to come. Yeah. Saying thank you is part of your karma. It's part of the dedication, dedicating your work. Dedicating your work. Gopal Maji. Yeah, go on.
So, Prabhuji, how are we thief? Like, how is it said that stay in Evasa? Why are we said thief? Means if we are not
If you
offering them,
don't give it to demigods also. You are
what
not
is the
giving it
need
to
to give
Vishnu.
them?
That's what I'm saying. You are not, there's no need to give them. It's like he doesn't feel a need to give anybody anything.
No,
He's only
it's
interested
mentioned
in
here, no?
taking. He's already interested in taking. That's why Kali Yuga, there's no yagya. Because nobody is interested in giving anything anybody. Grab what you can is the culture.
No,
You
so
see,
my question is that uh, Krishna is telling us that his worship is recommended, okay? So what is the need to offer the demigods? Why can't we directly
that's what I'm
offer the
saying. If
Krishna?
you are not giving to Krishna, at least give to the demigods. That's why he's saying there are two different statements. You see the line, you see the sentence. First he says that, and then he also adds demigods. And then he says that is the contract between the men and the demigods. The next verse. The third verse he says, those who breaks the contract and doesn't give it to the demigods is a thief. He's not even directly saying, if you do not give me, you are a thief. You won't give him to the demigods, then you are a thief. Because you can see the demigods providing these things to you. Later on, he will tell that I provide the things to the demigod, therefore they are in a position to provide to you. But now he's saying they are providing it to you. Since they are, it's just like the same thing. Thief means what? You took some, you took some, you took some ration from a shop and didn't pay the money. What you are? Shoplifter.
Thief, yeah.
So, same thing. You took something from the demigods, or you're getting everything from the demigods. The rain you are getting from the demigods, the heat you are getting from the demigods, the river water you are getting from the demigods, every natural resource you're getting from the demigods. I'm not going to do any of that. This belongs to me. You're a thief. That's the idea.
So is it okay for a sadhaka to offer water to sun?
Yeah, this will depend on what is your conception of the sun. You think sun is demigod.
Thanking sun for providing us the heat, the protection, or maybe so on.
Maybe. How about having the idea that sun being Surya Narayan?
Yeah.
Yachakshuresa savita sakala grahana raja samast sarmuktishu ashesha teja. Yasyagya brahmati sambrita kala chakra, on whose order the Kal Chakra is running around. That sun is Govindamadi Purusha. Amaham Bhajan.
So we can offer to sun having this
The
conception.
conception, everything depends on conception. Remember on the first day I said, Bhakti is all based on conception. I just otherwise just anyway. All right, so we still have got 2 more hands up. I was very much wishing that we can finish the chapter today, but anyway, Dayamaji, have mercy on us.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, then what's the need of demigods if that is not a final matlab thing?
Everybody is needed. The demigods all can also say, what is the need of these useless human beings? Let's kill them.
You know what?
Then
This concept of demigods is like polytheism. Hindu Dharma is polytheism.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So
exactly what the demigods also think. What these useless people are like inhabiting this next 7 planets. Just finish them off, because we have to see, the demigods have to provide rain, the demigods have to provide sunlight, the demigods have to provide every natural.
Krishna can do directly.
No, but why should Krishna do that? Krishna doesn't work. Why are you making him work? Working is suffering. Have you ever seen Vishnu working? Vishnu is lying down. You see? The God never works.
If they are working, then why we need to give or offer them to? We can directly offer to Krishna, no?
It's just the same thing. It's like if you are going to the shop, you pay to the shop. You don't say that I'm going to pay to the government. So that's how it works. But if you are a card carrying member of government, say for example, you have got I don't know if there is a system of ration card in Pakistan. I don't know. In India, we used to have a system of ration cards. So then that's like provided directly by the government. You go and you show the card and you get the ration. You don't have to pay anything. It's also there.
My simple question is, we should directly offer to Krishna, not demigod, because they will also offer to Krishna. So what's the need to offer?
Yes, but there are people who are offering to the demigods. That you may not offer to the demigod, you may directly offer to Krishna. Fine, good for you. But what about those who are offering to the demigods?
Then why Krishna take the concept of offering this to demigods?
Because he wanted to give the concept of offering, to give something, not just take. Learn to give.
To directly to Krishna, not demigod.
Yes, then many people might not like it. That's why they say God is very arrogant. Krishna is very arrogant. When Krishna says that I am Krishna, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he says very arrogant. You see, first they will ask the question, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And then they say Krishna is the Supreme Personality. He's very arrogant. It's like, who are you? Dayamaji, introduce yourself. What's your name?
Daya.
Full name. Daya.
Dayalohana.
Very arrogant. How can you say you are Daya? You are mercy. You see, that's exactly how Krishna feels. And that's how these people do not like Krishna. So, okay, fine, go to the demigods. Should be under some authority. Not that it's like totally, total anarchy. Krishna cannot allow you to promote anarchy, total anarchy. There's no demigod, no god, nothing. It's like you do your own thing. Okay, that's why it's like that. All right. Okay, Jyotimaji, go on.
Prabhuji, this in other religions like where they worship different gods, like they in Islam and Christianity and Parsis and all. So they fall under karma kanda because or
Every religious system has got element of pure devotion service and Mishra Bhakti and Karma Kanda. Every religious system has got that. It is just that they don't de-relate like us in our words, because like when we are wearing one kind of lens and we are viewing the other religious systems, and we may categorize that, but they might not categorize it like that. But based on the understanding what they do, yes, it is like that. There are elements of that. Just like when the Christian prayer, to this day give us our daily bread. That's the karma kanda. That's the karma kanda of understanding of Christianity. But there is the pure devotional service aspect of Christianity that is called Catholicism. Catholic means pure. That's also there. So every religious system has got mixed and match systems.
but they won't go beyond the conception of impersonal Brahman, right? Like they
Depends. Every religious system has got personal conception of God, and every religious system has been taken over by impersonalism, including Sanatana Dharma.
Yeah, because bhakti yoga, yes, bhakti yoga, because before Bhagavan, the concept of impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So Bhagwan, the concept of Bhagwan comes where Krishna comes.
No. The concept of Vishnu comes. Krishna is not Bhagavan. Krishna
Vishnu,
is beyond Bhagavan. Yeah.
Where the concept of Vishnu comes. So in other religions, they're not able to reach to the like it's not there only. The concept of Vishnu is not there. So when they
is there? In Islam, is there?
Vishnu.
Is there? Yeah, why not? They don't call it Vishnu. Is there?
Okay.
Call him by any name. Is there? But the concept is not very refined. The concept is not very, it requires refinement.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Shubham, go on.
Prabhuji, as you said, the bhakti is all about conception. So sometimes people can take this word, take this statement, and transfer it into Sahajya Bhakti also. Like they can consider themselves as a gopi, and they will act like a fools. So how do we differentiate? How do we say this is the Sahajya and this is the conception that
the basic difference between conception and misconception. There's a conception and there is a misconception also. Okay. Simple. All right, let's move ahead. I think we have got something in the chat. No, I am not in a mood to take more questions.
I want to read, Prabhuji.
Okay, go on. Reading, thank you. I need volunteers. Wait, let me tell you your section because you would require. You have to read without taking your breath. You see, breathless reading. Yeah. No, don't read like that. I don't want any casualties out here. But this is from verse number 17 to 35, which I don't see being covered today. Okay, let's see. How do we proceed? All right, Vishakha Maji, wait. We have got verse number 17.
But for one.
Okay, go on.
Verse number 17. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of the self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
You see, now I was talking about self. It's more about the self, like more about the self. So it's talking more about the self-realization, but that self-realization doesn't have has not this kind of self-realization, has it included God realization? Gradually they will go there. Gradually it will go there. Okay. The self point. It's like if you take this shloka out of the context and make this as the be all and end all of in itself, by itself, it's misleading. That's why I need to read the whole section. Okay. It's incomplete. Somebody leaves the class right now and this is the final statement. It's not the final statement. Okay. All right. Because there is no self-realization without God realization. Just remember this thing. Self-realization is a good concept to understand. This is like when we are understanding a concept piecemeal, in a piecemeal way, one by one. So you can understand this is self-realization. This is God realization. This is Paramatma realization. This is the realization of the material world. These are like when we want to understand something, we isolate things. You see? If you want to understand a concept, you must isolate it into smaller concepts. But when they work in tandem. They do not work like that. So there is generally, sometimes we see this misconception amongst devotees that first we will be self-realized. Then we will be God-realized. Then is something Paramatma. No, it doesn't work like that. Actually, it's the other way around. It's to the degree we become God-realized, to that degree we become self-realized. And the example is given in Nectar Devotion like that. In the preface, Prabhupada is giving an example that just like in the sunlight, we can see ourselves. So you need sunlight first. The sunlight is required first. Then we can see ourselves. So that means first we will see the sun and only then we can see ourselves. In this case, first we are going to see see the tube light. Only then we will be able to see ourselves. So God realization always precedes self-realization. Okay. But when we are understanding it piece by piece, okay, now we are understanding self-realization as a subject. All right, Vishakamaji, go on. Next verse.
A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being.
See, he doesn't need to work, but he doesn't have do not have any reason not to work. You see, there's a subtle difference. I am working because I need to work. And I don't need to work, but I don't have any reason why not to work. You see, when I am working devoid of my need, detached, that is detachment. I'm working because I am to work as a duty. So that kind of duty doesn't have any strings attached to it. It is not related to my better commercial prospects. It's that kind of thing. Generally, we have never seen things like that. Generally, we have never seen things like something like philanthropy. Okay, philanthropy is just like a it's you can say how do we put it? It's like Symbolism. That's like a very close. That's not exactly like that, but something similar. Just like in India, there are so many NGOs that work. Okay. It's like in Pakistan, the ED Foundation. That comes close to that idea. They don't need to work, but they don't have any reason not to work. So that's something similar. Not exactly, but something similar. Okay. All right. Let's go on. 19.
Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
See, therefore is duty. So then, because otherwise without this verse, the previous verse would be meaningless. Why there's no need for work? Why it is no reason not to work? Because that's a duty. That is the idea of duty. What actually duty means? Dharma means. Here duty means dharma. Okay. This is the perfect definition of dharma. You don't need to do that, but there is no reason not to do that. Therefore, it is duty. If I need to do that, then it's like I'm under obligation already. There's a force. But no, there's a subtle element. Duty means I don't need to do that. But there is no reason not to do that. Do I need, does a mother need to raise the child? Yes, exactly. As Vaivavi Mataji is shaking her head. No, a mother doesn't need to raise the child. But the mother doesn't find a reason not to raise the child. That's called duty. So whatever we understand as duty when we are working outside in the world, it's not duty. Neither is duty nor is service. It's all based on our need. I'm working where I need to work, otherwise nobody would work. Okay. So that's dharma. That's dharma. So the salt, it doesn't need to make anything salty. It's not his business. But there's no reason not to make something salty if it is put there. That's dharma. You see? This is the subtlest form of dharma. Because that dharma has got detachment when it packed in. You see? In this kind of dharma, the detachment is already packed in. You do that dharma, you will never be bound. All right, Vishaka Maji, move on. You must move on.
Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
You see? As we discussed yesterday. So only Janaka's example which has been given in Bhagavad Gita as a person who has solely by performed prescribed duties. He attained perfection. He attained Siddhi, Swarup Siddhi, simply by performing Varnashram duties. How did Janaka attained Swarup Siddhi? Simply by perfectly performing Varnashram. Perfect performance of Varnashram. Okay. Total detachment. So, yeah. Wait, I'm just looking for something else as well. There was this purport, yeah, 3-3. Okay, fine. Right. Where were we? Sorry, lost. 320, right? 321. Okay. Now you see the very famous verse. Yad yad acharya sheshta tattateva itara jana samyak pramanam kurute logastan anuvartate. Vaibhavi Mataji, go on.
Yes, Prabhuji, I had a question. Can I ask or shall I ask later?
Go on.
Yeah. In 20th verse purport, it is written that general that violence is necessary in situation where good arguments fail. So, what does violence over here means? Is it like somebody
Yeah.
is talking to us and we are in an argument and that person fails to understand, or we fail to understand them?
There is the context is the battle of Kurukshetra. The context is the battle of Kurukshetra. That's the idea. When there is required, that kind of thing is required. But good arguments fail, there has to be a fight. Ultimately, because the ultimate reality of the material world is what? Power. That's the last argument. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, let's move ahead.
Hare Krishna, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all world pursues.
That's just etched in stone. That's just the standard worldwide. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. I mean, there can be very graded distinction or gradations or distinctions of what is great. Okay, that's debatable. That's highly debatable. But nevertheless, whatever the great man, whoever has been acclaimed or recognized as a great man, common will be followed. Okay, whatever standards he has set, world will pursue that. Okay, and that's why Krishna says, I also work, although I don't have any work to do. Here, read 22.
O son of Pratha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
That's exactly, he gave the same example what he quoted before. He doesn't need to work, but he had no reason not to work. Now Krishna is presenting himself as an example. He doesn't have any need to work, but he doesn't see any reason not to work. Okay, that's what Krishna is saying. So actually what Krishna is saying is not just for him. This is actually, it is for every Jiva soul. When he comes to the liberated platform, the platform of prema, he doesn't need to do one thing. This idea of I have to do it. No, you don't have to do anything. Bhakti is not I have to do it. Bhakti has got nothing about it which says I have to do it. You have to chant 16 rounds. You have to follow regulative principles. You have to go to the temple. You have to. That is called sadhana bhakti. And doesn't last very long. You must come to the stage, I want to chant. I want to follow the regulative principles. I want to do service. I want to have darshan of Krishna. That's exactly what he is saying. That is not the need. No, it's not the need. But I don't have any reason not to do that. Yes. That is called spontaneous devotion. Graduating from regulated devotion to spontaneous devotion. This is a little higher concept, a little finer concept. Gradually, like as we go on to the next chapters and go to the next different books, you will evolve. I can see Harshika's face. She is like, what's this far out thing she is talking about? Gradually, you'll come to that. Gradually, you'll come to that. Okay. All right, move on.
For if I ever failed to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path.
Krishna is saying, if I don't do that, then nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to do anything. Okay. That's why I do it. So you see the power of peer pressure? That's called the power of peer pressure. When Krishna is feeling pressurized, oh, if I don't do these guys, oh my God. So it's the power of peer pressure. Okay. If I did not perform, go on. 24.
If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings.
I don't do that. That will come to Varna Shankar. Because if I don't do that, how the world will be ruined? The world will not be ruined that everything will come to a standstill. No. That's not what Krishna is talking about. Krishna is talking about the world will be ruined because there will be unwanted population. And he's talking about overpopulation. He's talking about unwanted population. You may say overpopulation is unwanted population. But he is not saying overpopulation is unwanted population. He's talking about unwanted population per se. And that is called Varna Shankar. And that's what Prabhupada says in the purport. Okay? Can you would do well to read the purport? Can you read the purport? Go on.
Varna Sankara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances.
Yes, that's it. Yes, that's the whole concept, Varna Shankar. Unwanted population which cause disturbance to the whole society. And what is the disturbance? That disturbance is a disturbance to execute devotional service. You might find them very organized, but they will create disturbance for devotional service. Utpateiva kalpate. Rupa Goswami says, quotes Padma Puran, he says, Utpateiva kalpate. Utpat means disturbance, creating unnecessary disturbance. Okay. So those who are not engaged in devotional service and create disturbance for those who are engaged in devotional service, they are called Varna Shankar. Okay. And that doesn't immediately include your wife or husband or your parents. Please don't do that. Okay. I'm trying to execute Krishna consciousness. I'm trying to chant. My parents are not allowing me to chant. Varna Shankar. Okay. My husband is not allowing me to chant. My wife is not allowing me to chant. My children are not allowing me to chant. Follow devotional service. All Varna Shankaras. Okay. Okay. That's not how you deal with the Varna Shankaras. It says how you deal with the Varna Shankaras. What is it? You see, in order to check this social, second sentence is the one. Read it again. This is the answer.
In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life.
The prescribed rules and regulations by which they can be peaceful and organized for spiritual life. So we don't castigate people, cast out people by saying, oh, it's just Varna Shankar, and then throw them aside. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's time. I couldn't finish this. I wanted to finish this today, but it's only half the way through. How many classes do we have? Like we are done for this week, right? Today is
Yes,
Tuesday
Prabhuji.
or Wednesday? Wednesday, right?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. So we are done for this week. How about like how many? Like we have got I think we have another 6 classes. Am I correct? Or we have got 8 classes?
6 classes.
6 more classes, right?
No idea, Prabhuji.
No, I think no. This there is part of your as part of a schedule. It's must be scheduled there. Anyway, I'll find it out. So accordingly, we need to. Where's there was Rukmini Harisevani? I saw her, right? She just left.
I believe there are 12 classes, Prabhuji, for Unit 1.
Yeah, Rukmini, it's 12 classes, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we have got another 6 classes. All right.
Yes.
So maybe I have to speed up. There's no other way but to speed up. Okay. So thank you very much. All glories to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.